What's up, folks? How's it going? It's your favorite sorcerer again. In this video, I want to talk about how to actually command a demon, how to get it to listen to you. This is not intuitive, meaning most aspiring magicians will experiment with rituals in which they involve, certain demons, certain spirits. Maybe they open up a grimoire and do an evocation, and still, following the entire ritual, they're not going to get results. In other words, the spirit, the demon that they called in the ritual, even if they manage to call it, is not going to do what they want him to do. And in this video, I'm going to try to lay out why that is. Okay? So, the first thing that you have to understand is that the power of a magician is dependent not on the conjuration, not on the circle, not on the triangle, not on the implements. Now, they play a role, but it's a very, very minor role. The difference in power between magicians is the result of the structure of their energy body and their energy field. Okay? The spirit recognizes your invisible to the naked eye aura and energy signature. In order to command a spirit that is immortal and incredibly powerful, it requires a certain level of authority in the other worlds, in the spirit world. Okay? And maybe you've had that experience yourself where you tried to call upon a spirit or a demon and you did the ritual and pretty much nothing happened. Well, that is how it plays out for 80 to 90% of so-called magicians. The reason is because they're not aware of the secrets that I'm going to share with you now. So please listen if you want to improve your magic. See, when it comes to spiritual authority and the ability to command spiritual forces and demons and so on and so forth, you must be able to invoke certain forces, invoke a certain authority, divine authority, so to speak. Okay? That's what it's called in, let's say, medieval grimoires that have a strong Christian undertone, right? And nothing wrong with that, because this is something that applies universally. Being able to invoke divine forces would apply to any spiritual tradition that you might find out there. But what does that mean in concrete terms? How do you become capable of invoking divine authority? That is dependent on your conduct outside of the temple. I know that's maybe counterintuitive because you thought, like many people thought, that because you call demons, because you want to work with them, everything goes. Aren't demons the epitome of lawlessness? Aren't they the epitome of, breaking the rules, inversion, perversion, which means the same thing. If you pervert something, you invert it. You put it on its head. Well, yes, those forces are, but the person that wants to command those forces needs to have a certain stability in their energy, and this cannot happen if you are lawless, if that makes sense. And what does that mean? You need a certain ethical code that you follow. And that ethical code is actions that you take on a regular basis. And this creates a certain energy field around you. And this energy field that you have now created around you through the specific character, this individuality that you've created in harmony with divine authority, will allow you to command those forces. There's a right way of being in this world, and there's a wrong way of being in this world. Or there are many, many, many wrong ways of being and conducting yourself in this world. But only one correct way that will allow you to create an energy field around you, a force field that expands into the invisible worlds and gives you the ability to invoke divine authority and as a result, command those demonic forces. And as a result of that, of course, have a level of control over this physical world that most people could not have dreamed of. This ethical code, and first of all, let me define what ethics are. Ethics is different from morals. When we talk about morals, we're talking about a word that etymologically stems from mores, which means customs. Okay. Now, customs are something that applies to a group. If you're a Mongol, part of your morals, part of your customs is pillaging and destroying and doing all kinds of bad things in the world, because that's what the Mongols were, and that was not just tolerated, that was expected from a Mongol. All right. So that's a group morals. Ethics is something that is individual, something that you do and follow regardless of police existing, regardless of the justice system existing. It is something that you do because it is your own personal ethical code. And there's a specific way of doing that. There's a specific way of living. There's a specific way of being that is necessary for you to be able to be an ideal vessel for this divine force that you can then command. It's part of your spiritual evolution. So please forget magical power and lawlessness or a lack of ethics or purely following your instincts. That's not going to work. Your instincts are animalistic, and they will often lead you to behavior that is not in alignment with your higher nature. And this higher nature is necessary for you to command those forces. Now, does it mean that you're going to have to be a saint and can never do things wrong? No, that's not what that means. But please understand that children follow purely their instincts and their desires in the moment. Wisdom makes you understand your lower nature, but still following your higher impulses. And wisdom is one of the forces that rule this world. So, if you want to be able to command demons to bring you power, to bring you money, to create things in the world, to bring you sexual partners, to bring you a lot of things, you cannot be a slave to your instincts. There's a certain way of being, and there's a time for instincts and there's a time for wisdom. And you must strike a balance, a very, very peculiar balance, which is what most people will never be able to do. Now, I understand that this is not for most people. This message here is not for most people. This channel is not for most people, because most people in this world are just not ready. They just want revenge. They just want this and that and the other. And all of these things can be given. However, the way people approach it from an animalistic point of view, driven by instincts, they will never get what they wanted. They will use this cover of alternative spirituality, Satanism, black magic as an excuse to live out their instincts without restriction. But this has nothing to do with magic. A master magician, the ability to truly command a demon, angel, whatever spiritual force, requires a high ethical standard and more. Now, this weekend on the 24th, I'm going to do a seminar in which I'm going to teach how to work correctly with demons. And you can apply a lot of those things to other spirits as well. Now, if you want to learn this, which is not available anywhere else, it is not something that you would learn in other places, send an email to grailoftheserpent@protonmail.com, grailoftheserpent@protonmail.com. The email address is also in the description under this video. And write in that email that you're interested in the seminar, and I'm going to get back to you with a response to to take you down the line. Okay? Now, hopefully you got something out of this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.